Madam Subiksha, we can start the session, ma'am.
Okay, sir. Good morning.
Good morning, ma'am.
Is my audio clear
Good
for
morning, ma'am.
everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, okay. The previous session, we saw the basics, very basics of programming language C. Now, instead of moving on to the concepts, we'll just move on to the programs. Side by side, you'll be understanding your concepts too. Okay. And how many of you are comfortable with C? And how many of you are comfortable with Python? Just you can tell me in your comment section. Okay. Others? Both. Okay. So, okay, since there is a mixed answer, we'll just see a program in both languages. Okay. The same program we'll see in C, also in Python. Okay. Students who have said C, if you want Python, if that is so easy, you can do that also. Okay. So, we'll go for both. Now, I have certain Wipro questions, okay? The problems which were asked in the previous year and also certain paid materials, okay? So I have the question. Those questions are everything we got from the previous year students. So it will not be that clear. They would have taken the photo little bit, since the camera is on for them, they cannot take the photo. So it will not be so clear. So we have to cope up with that. And I'll be showing you the problem. And you can tell me first what problem is that. Okay. I'll just give you the problem. You have to read the entire problem and tell me what is the problem. We'll be having the input and output statements also. Okay. And before going to that, before going to the Wipro problems, I just wanted everybody of you to know some basic problems which we'll be seeing today. Okay. For the first 1 hour, we'll be having the basic problems in both C and Python. And for the next hour, we'll be going for the Wipro questions, which will be based on the basic questions which we see in the first session. Okay. Is it clear? What are we going to
Yes, ma'am.
see today? What is the agenda for today's class? Is that clear? Shall we move on to the session? Is everyone ready? Okay. Now, how many of you are attending from mobile and how many of you are from laptop, desktop? Laptop. Okay. Okay. I'll be showing you the program. You wanted to practice along with me, or you'll just note it down and practice it after the class, which is comfortable for you. Trying it out along with me. However, I'll run and show you the output for the program. Do you want to try it along with me, or you want to do that later? It's up to you and your comfortability. Later. Okay. Okay. So, okay, you can take it down in your notebook, and then after the session, you can do it. And if there is any doubt or you have any issues regarding the program, you can ask me in the next session. Okay. So now we'll move on to the session. Is my screen visible to everyone? Can everyone see my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. The first program, the simple program of all we are going to see today is even or odd program. I know many of you would know this. Okay, son, can someone say me what is the idea behind the problem? How will you check the even or odd? The condition behind this program.
Ma'am, if a number is divisible by 2, then it's even, and if it is not, then it is odd.
Okay, good. So yeah, the logic behind the program is the same. See, let me explain the program side by side. You take down the program also. Okay. So as I said, I'm going to include the header file, standard input and output header file I'm going to include in the program. Now the main function, I'm declaring the main function and I'm declaring a variable called num of integer data type. Okay. Now I'm just asking the input from the user. Instead of being it a blank screen, I'm just typing enter an integer so that the user knows where to type the input. And I'm going to get the input and store it in num. Okay, num, I'm going to store it in num. Since it is an integer, I'm using percentage %t. Okay, I'm going to get the input from the user and store it in the address of num. Okay, I'm present of num. I'm going to store it in the address of num. As you said, if that particular input which is got from the user is divisible by 2, completely divisible by 2, in that sense you'll get the reminder as 0. If the reminder is 0, see, we are using the double equal to check. Okay, then it is even. I'm just asking it to print it is even, else it is odd. Okay, so see, according to me, okay, however bigger the problem is, no problem, I just see the problem with three parts. One is getting the input from the user, the other one is processing that input, and the third part is displaying the output. Okay, apart from declaring the variables, those conditions, all those things, I just see it as a three part. Okay, getting the input, processing the input, and displaying the output. So here, this part, I have got the input from the user. Okay, and I'm processing and displaying it here. Okay, so this is the program in C language. Is everyone clear with this program? Thumbs up in the comment section. Is everyone clear? Okay. Now, the same even or odd program in the Python language. See here. And those who are new to the Python, I'll explain you also. Here in C language, how will you get the input? Using the scanf statement. Okay. By using the scanf statement, and for that substitute in Python, you will be using this statement. Int of input. In that sense, I'm telling the compiler that it is the integer data type. Okay, and I'm going to get the input. This enter a number will be displayed, and when the number is entered by the user, the number gets stored in the num. Okay, this is the format, this is the syntax for getting the input in a Python. Okay, num, where I have to store the input which is received, is equal to int of input. I'm just giving int as the variable stands for the integer. Now I've got the input from the user and stored it in the num. Now I wanted to process it. Okay, the same condition, if num percentage of 2 is equal to 0, if it is completely divisible by 2, then it is a even, else it is odd. Okay, so such a big program in C, it is just 4 to 5 lines in Python. Okay, if you want, you can take down both. I'll give you 5 minutes time, just take down both the programs. Once completed, just give a thumbs up in the comment section. Okay. And if you don't have a C or Turbo C installed in your system, you can just use the online compiler. Okay. Here I use online GDB compiler. If you want, just make a note of it. Online GDB compiler. And you can use all the languages here. You can use from C, Python, every language. You can use this single compiler. Just I'm showing. See, as I said, it is asking for the integer. The input value which the user is giving us 10. So if I just press enter, 10 is a even. Okay. So you'll get the output like this. And in case of Python, the same online GDB compiler I'm using with a Python 3 language. Okay. And when you're choosing the Python language, even in the online test for Wipro, just make sure you're choosing Python 2 or 3, because sometimes you'll be typing the Python 3 program, but the compiler will be in Python 2. Then you'll not clear all the test cases. So just make sure which language you're choosing. The same format. Okay, I'm just giving a number and it is just telling me the output. So for both the programs, you will get the output. Okay, so make sure you go through the program and type the program of your own. Okay, just looking after the program and typing it is just like a mere typewriting machine. Okay, go through the concepts, go through the program and create your own programs. Okay, there is no format that you have to do the same thing. You can just do something creative. Okay, we'll move on to the next. As usual, the simple program, factorial program. Okay, so now the same, the header files, I'm going to use the stdio.h, standard input output, and the main function starts here. Now it is a integer type. What are the integers type? N and I. Okay, next I'm declaring a variable called fact of integer data type and initializing it to 1. Okay, because since factorial is completely multiplicative, if I'm just giving fact is equal to 0, or if I'm just, okay, I just wanted to ask you one question. If I'm not initializing a variable, what value does it hold? Without me initializing a variable, what value does it hold?
Garbage value.
Good, garbage value. Okay, yeah, it will hold the garbage value. So when it is multiplicative, along with the garbage value, it keeps on multiplying. So your answer will be wrong. Okay, so for that purpose, I'm just initializing fact is equal to 1. Okay, now as I said, I'm getting the input from the user. For which number should I find the factorial? So getting the input from the user, storing it in a variable n. Now if n is less than 0, in that sense, for the negative case, factorial for the negative number doesn't exist. Error message. Okay, no, if it is greater than 0, then what function it should perform? Okay, I'm just initiating a loop, for loop. For I is equal to 0 is initialization, I less than n is a condition we are checking, and plus plus I is the incrementation. For loop syntax: initialization, condition, and incrementation. Okay, now I'm just saying initializing I is equal to 1. Okay, now for example, the user given input is 5. Okay, so is 1 less than 5? Yes, the condition is true. So it will come inside the loop. Already we have declared fact is equal to 1. Okay, so now already fact value is equal to 1, and this is a shorthand operator. Can someone say the actual operation of this line? Fact star is equal to I. Can someone say the actual operation? Actual code.
Fact equals to fact into I.
Good. Okay, so that is fact is equal to fact star I you have to write, but instead of that we are using a shorthand operator here. Okay, so when I is equal to 1, this loop gets executed. For the 2, the loop gets executed. 3, 4 and 5, the loop gets executed. When the 6th I becomes 6, the condition fails, so it comes out of the loop. Then whatever value is stored in fact gets printed. Okay, we'll check. Okay, the factorial is 120. So here we have given the condition from 1 till the n is user given input. Till you reach the user given input, the below loop should be executed. Okay, once the entire loop is completed, then we are just going to print the fact value. Now the same program in Python. As I said, the input statement to get the input from the user. Okay, num, I'm going to get the input and store it in the num variable. Int of input, in that sense, int denotes the data type. Now, as I said, we are initializing the variable factorial, which is equal to 1. Similarly, when num is less than 0, that negative index, it doesn't exist. Factorials doesn't exist. Now, if num equal to 0, okay, in that sense, a factorial of 0 is 1. See, this condition we haven't given in this program. So when you try, just add this condition also. If the username given number is 0, then what should it print? The same condition you have to add it here also. In the C program, just add and try. Okay. So when the user given input is 0, just the factorial of 0 is 1. I just wanted to print this statement. No, these both conditions are not satisfied. Only the third condition, the positive, user given input is positive. Then what should it do? Okay. See, this is the syntax for the for loop in Python. For I in range of 1 comma num plus 1. In that sense, it should start from 1 and it should execute the loop till num plus 1. Okay, and in Python every condition statements ends with the colon. Okay, if there is no colon, then the compiler doesn't consist the thing as a condition statement. Okay, only the condition statements, not an ordinary statement. See, this is the ordinary operation statement. This doesn't have any semicolon or colon. Only for the for, if else conditions, the conditions like that will be having the colon. Okay, so we have given the for loop. What should the compiler do when this for loop is true? So that execution part is given here. Factorial is equal to factorial star I. Now I wanted to print a factorial. Same, except the syntax change. It is same as that of a C program, only the change in the syntax. Okay, the factorial of 5 is 120. And again, I'm going to check. Okay, this is what the test case they'll check in the final programming. Okay, they'll be giving a negative index and your program should satisfy that also, and they'll be giving a 0, it should satisfy that, and a positive, whatever the possible values it should satisfy. Okay, those are the test cases. Now let us check with the negative. See, for the negative numbers, factorial doesn't exist. For 0, the factorial of 0 is 1. Okay, all the possible conditions should be meet. Is this program clear for everyone? Is the factorial program clear for everyone? Have you taken down the program or you want me to give some time? Noted both the programs. Okay. Others? What about others? Okay. So now, prime number or not? What is the logic behind the prime number? Can someone explain the logic behind the prime number? How will you find out a number is a prime or a non-prime number?
Ma'am, only divisible by 1 and itself.
Okay. So the prime numbers are divisible by 1 and itself. In that sense, it has only two factors, 1 and itself. Am I right? Only two factors for the prime. So let us go for the program. The same, I'm including the header files, the main function. I'm declaring three variables, I, N and P, and initializing P to 0 because I'm just going to count how many factors that does the number has, and I'm going to store that count in this P. Okay, if it has some garbage value, then my count becomes the false or the wrong one. So I'm just going to initialize that to 0. Okay, now I'm getting the input from the user. After that, I'm just going for the for loop. For I is equal to 1 until the user given number. I'm just going to check one condition. If I'm going to give 5, okay, I'm going to give 5. 5 modulo of I value, I is 1 for this loop. For the next loop, I will be 2. And for the next loop, I will be 3. I value gets incremented since we have given I plus plus. Okay. So I'm going to check n modulo of I equal to 0. I'm checking whether the value is equal to 0. If it is fully divisible, only then you get 0, right? So whenever it is fully divisible, whenever the number, user given number is fully divisible by the I value, I wanted to increase the count because it is a factor. Okay, I wanted to increase the count. I don't want to print, I don't want to save the output, I don't want anything. I just wanted to count, increase the count. Okay. So this loop executes till the I reaches the user given number. So now my count value will be 1 or 2 or more than that. Okay. So after that, I'm just checking if P equal to 2. Only then it is a prime number because prime number has only two factors, 1 and itself. If it is having more factors than 2, more than 2 factors, then it is not a prime number. Okay. I'm just having the count and then I'm checking whether count is equal to 2. If it is 2, it is a prime. Else, if it is 1 or more than 2, I don't want to go for that. If it is not 2, then it is not a prime. Okay. So we'll check the program. Okay. It is a prime number. I've just given a prime number. It is telling me it is a prime number. So this is the C program. Now moving on to the Python code. As I said, I'm getting the input from the user. And I'm storing the input in num. Okay. If num greater than 1, I'm just giving a condition only if it is greater than 1, because 0 is neither prime nor even, and below 0 also you cannot go for the prime number checking. Now it should be greater than 1. As usual, the for condition, okay, up to which I'm giving is that 2. I have to start the condition from the 2 and end it till the user given value. Why am I taking the range as 2 is one is neither prime nor composite. Okay. So I'm taking the range from 2 to the number user given. Okay. If the same condition number modulo I equal to 0, then it is a, I'm sorry. Okay. Now, if the modulo operation of I is equal to 0, then it is not a prime. Okay. Now, I just wanted to break this if loop. Then if there is a if condition, there should be else condition, right? For that, I'm just giving it is a prime number. And this is for this if. The else statement given here is for the if statement given here. Okay. Now we have another one else, which is for the statement here. If num greater than 1 I've given, right? For that else statement is here. In that sense, if it is less than 1, then it is not a prime number. Okay. Is it clear? Take down both the programs. I'll just first have the C program. Take it down. Just make a screenshot or something. The Python program. And in Python, you'll get the indentation error. In that sense, if you just skip a space, okay, then it will show you an error. There are no curly braces in Python, but that space should be maintained. Else you'll be getting the error. I just wanted to show you both the programs. Whichever you're comfortable with, you can go. Okay. Copied. Shall we move on to the next? Others? Make it fast. Okay. Moving on to the next. Arranging an array in ascending order. Okay. Okay. Can someone tell me what is an array? What is an array?
Ma'am, data structure to store a similar data type, a list.
Okay, good. Okay. Array is similar to that of a container, which is used to store the similar data types. Okay. Similar type of data put together is called array. Okay. Now we are going to get a set of numbers in an array, and we are going to sort that array in the ascending order. Okay. So we are just going to use a function. What is a function in the sense? We are just having a separate, see, sort number ascending is a function name, and I'm going to define the function here. Even before the main function, I'm just going to define a function called sort numbers ascending. And what should that function do? I've just defined here. Okay. So Whenever I wanted to perform the ascending order sorting, I can just call the function. No need to write this code again and again. I can just call the function and I'll get the output. Okay, for that reason, we're using the function. So now let us see, as usual, the header files. This is a way to declare a function. Return type, name of the function, and the parameters. These are called the parameters. Parameters, arguments, inputs, everything are one and the same. Okay. So here the return type is void. This function is not going to return me anything. Okay. And the name of the function is sort numbers ascending. Okay. And the parameters used are number is an array. Okay. This square bracket denotes the array. So number, and another one variable I'm declaring is count. Now, coming inside the function, I'm just declaring 4 variables. Temp stands for temporary variable, I, j, and k. Okay, temp is a temporary variable, and I have declared for the loop. I mean, for displaying the elements in an array, I want a loop, right? For that, I'm going to declare I. J and k are the elements of an array. J is the first element, k is the next element. Okay, and getting the input for the array and displaying the output of an array, you'll be using a for loop. Okay, because previously you just need only one element as an input, so you'll be getting one element just using the scanf statement. Now you wanted many number of inputs, so that you are going to add a for loop. You'll add a for loop, and whenever the user is giving next input, you're just going to get and store it in an array. Okay, if it is a single input, you'll be using the scanf statement. If it is an input of an array, you have to use a for loop. Now, as I said, j is the first element, so for that I'm using the j loop, and k is the next upcoming element. Okay, so for that I'm using a k loop. First, I'm initializing j is equal to 0, j less than count. Okay, so what is the count? It is the number of elements in an array or size of an array. Okay, I wanted to give only 5 elements. I want only 5 elements to be sorted, so that 5 is the count. Okay, so j equal to 0, 0 less than 5, yes, the condition is true, j gets incremented. Coming inside the loop, I have next element or the next input. Okay, k, which is j plus 1. J is the first element. Okay, now k is the j plus 1 element. In that sense, it is the next element to the j. Okay, I'm just checking whether j is greater than k. Since this is the ascending order, I'm checking number of j. Okay, this number is an array name, and inside the square brackets, we are just having the array index. Okay, the first element. K is j plus 1, the second element. Okay, I'm just checking whether number of j is greater than number of k. If it is true, okay, if it is greater, then I just wanted to swap using a temporary variable. So whatever number is present in j, I'm going to place that in temporary variable. Okay, number of j is present in temporary variable. Now this number of j is empty because the value stored here has moved to the temporary variable. Okay, now since this is empty, I can store some other value, which is number of k. Okay, whatever element is present in this array of number k will be just placed to j. Now this k is empty, and whatever value is placed in the temp is moved to this k value. So both the I and j get swapped, and the temporary variable as usual becomes the empty. Okay, now I have just swapped, and this takes place until the condition becomes false, which is j is less than count. In that sense, what is the size of the array? Till that size of the array, this loop gets executed. Now I have just stored everything. I wanted to print, right? As I said, for getting the inputs from the user, you use a for loop. Now, as usual, the printing also you have to use a for loop, because you are not going to print only one output, only a value called 10 or 5. you're going to print a series of input in an array. So for that, I'm using a for loop. Okay, I'm using a for loop, and when I is equal to 0, it will print the first 0th element. Next, I gets incremented, I will print the first element. Okay, 0th element, first element, second, third, fourth, and fifth, it gets printed. Okay, all the elements in the ascending order will get printed. So this is the function, okay, to sort the array elements in ascending order. Now we are going to see the main function. Okay, I'm just declaring I count a number. Number is an array and the size of the number I have given 20. Okay, so the user cannot give numbers more than 20. So now I'm getting the number of elements in an array. How many numbers the user going to give? So that I'm going to get and store it in the count. Next, what are those numbers? If I'm going to give 5, the size of the array is 5, then I have to give those 5 numbers, right? So I'm just asking what are those numbers and storing that in number of I. Okay, so when I is equal to 0, the array, in the array, 0th elements gets filled. When I is equal to 1, first elements gets filled. When I is equal to 2, the second element. Similarly, till 5, the elements gets filled up in the array. And after that, I'm calling the function sort number ascending. Okay, and what are the parameters I'm given? Number and count. What are the elements I've received from the user, and also the count. How many elements are present? So I'm just calling. When I'm calling the function, the control jumps from here to here. Okay, within the program, the control jumps. Once all the following statements are executed, then finally you'll be printing the ascending order of the given array. Okay, is this clear, or you want me to explain it once again? Is ascending order program clear for everyone? Is there any doubt regarding the ascending order? Someone wants me to explain it again? I want everybody to answer. Okay, what about others? Okay. So, okay. See, when you run the program, ascending order program, you'll be getting your output screen like this. How many number of elements are there? I just wanted to have 5 elements. So, okay, what are the numbers? Okay, see, after sorting, I'm getting the number as 1, 3, 4, 5, and 6 numbers in ascending order. Okay. Just make a note of it. Are you able to take the screenshot from my screen? Okay. If completed, just give a thumbs up in the comment section. completed? Okay. Moving on to the Python program. In C programming, we use the term called array, but in Python, you use the term called list. Okay, similar to that of the array. You use a list. Okay, you can store the similar data types in a list, and then, as I said, you'll use the for loop to get the input right in the C programming language. In Python, you'll be using the append. Okay, I'll first declare the name of the list here. Okay, this is the way you declare a list. Okay, num list, this is the way you have to declare a list. Just an empty list I'm declaring. Now what is the size of your list? Okay, total number of elements in the list. I'm going to get that and store it in the number. Okay, the size is 5 as we used in the previous example. Size 5, I'm going to store it in the number. Now for I in range of the same Sorry, the network here is very slow. Can everyone hear me? Okay. Is my screen visible for everyone? Okay. Okay. So, as I said, I'm just going to get the total number of elements present in the list, and I'm going to store that in the variable called number. And in Python, there is no need to declare a variable before using it. You can just use the variable wherever you want. So I'm just going to use the number variable to have the count of the entire list. Now I'm going to get the input. So using a for loop from 1 till the number, okay, till the total number of integers, I wanted to use this for loop. Next, I'm going to store it in a variable called value. Okay, as usual, int input of, I'm going to get the value and store it in the value variable. So for every time when the user enters the input value, I just wanted to store that in the list, right? For storing that, I'm using this append. Okay, num list is the name of the list. Num list dot append of value. Whatever value the user has entered, it should append. In that sense, it should go and store in the num list. Okay, that is the meaning of this line. Num list dot append inside the bracket the value which the user gave. Now I'm just using a simple function sort. See, in C programming, you just had such a big program to sort. But in Python, there is only a small program which is called SORT, sort. It is a predefined function. If you just use the sort of function, it will sort the entire list for you. Okay, you're just going to get the input and tell the compiler to sort. That's all. Your elements will be sorted and then it will be stored in the num list and you're just going to print it. As simple as that. Okay, because what a sorting function should do is already predefined. Okay, it is predefined and stored in the sort function. So we're just calling the function and using it. As simple as that. Okay, just make a note of this Python program also. If completed, just give a thumbs up in the comment section. Okay, what about others? Okay, now we saw the ascending order. The next one is the descending. Okay, the same program, nothing is changed. They're just the same, only one condition is changed. Can someone say what is the condition which is changed in this program? Just one condition, one line of the code is changed. Can someone say what is it? Not the temporary variable, nothing of that sort. A logic. Okay, one code of logic is changed.
Reverse equals to false.
Sorry, I can't hear you once again.
Reverse equals to false.
Can you type in the chat box? Now tell me which line. Reverse is equal to false. Oh, you're saying in the Python program. Nihal, are you saying in the Python program? Okay, for the Python, it is reverse is equal to false. Now for the C, just tell me the code line. Just give a try.
If num of I is less than num of j.
Good. Okay, so this is the code which is changed. In ascending order, we have just used if number of I is greater than number of j. Here we are just using less than because we wanted all the higher digits first and the lower at the last. Okay, so if number of I is less than number of j, then this number of I is pushed backwards. Okay, whichever has the higher value, that is pushed to the front. Okay, only the symbol has changed, else the same program. Okay. Is that clear? The difference between the ascending and the descending? In ascending, you use greater than, and in descending, you use lesser than. Okay. Just make a screenshot or note down this program for descending. Yeah, take it down. Completed. Just give a thumbs up in the comment section. Okay. Others, make it fast. Shall we move on to the Python program? Okay. Now, as I said, the same that of the ascending order program. I'm going to get this size, and here the list name is numbers. Okay. It is an empty list. I'm creating an empty list called numbers. Now, after that, I'm going to use a for loop. In range of size, you can just give like this also. In previously, we used 1, the starting range, until the ending range. Here, simply I can give size. So whatever the number, if I'm giving the size as 5, now, since the I is in the range of size, I'm going to get the input from the user. First input of the list, and I'm going to store it in ELE. Okay, a variable called ELE. And as I said, the list name numbers dot append. What should I append in the numbers? ELE. The value stored in the element ELE should be append to the list called numbers. Okay, all the inputs I'll be getting, and I'm appending it to the list called numbers. Now, last time I said it is just a function called sort. Okay, if you just give sort, it will sort it in the ascending order here, but you have to sort it in the descending order. So what you do is that reverse is equal to true. I think someone said it is false, right? Reverse, Nihal, you said it is reverse is equal to false. Actually, the basic sort function, that is by default false only. Reverse is equal to false only. The previous in ascending order function, we use sort function, right? There, reverse is equal to false by default. We no need to give. But you wanted to do for the descending order, then it is reverse is equal to true. Okay. In previously, we didn't give any sort of conditions like this. So by default, there will be reverse is equal to false. But here it is true because this is a descending order function. Okay. Now I'm just going to print the numbers. As simple as that. Sort. If you use sort function, it will be sorting in the ascending. And if you use sort reverse is equal to true, then it will be sorting in the descending. Okay. Make a note of it. If completed, just give a thumbs up in the comment section. Okay. Others? See, I'm giving both C and Python program because even though if you know C and if you're thorough with the C, if you just want to give Python a try, then go for it. Okay. I've used the same logic in both the programming languages. So when you try, it will be easy for you. Just you're going to learn the syntax and you're going to get the output. Okay. So just give it a try. Now, many of you said as C, right? How many of you have changed your minds after seeing the size of the program? How many of you have changed your mind to learn Python? Is there anyone? Or you're comfortable with C? Good. Others? What about others? Many of you said C language, right? Okay. Have you taken down this program? Shall we move on to the next? Okay. Others? What about others? Python for life. Okay. Okay. Now, I think almost 3 to 4 programs you have seen, right? The basic, both in Python and in C we have completed. Now, as I said, I'll show you the problems. Okay. The previous year problems. The problems will be bigger, not in a single line problem. It will be a bigger one. I want you to go through the problem. I'll just give 5 minutes time. I wanted every one of you to go through the problem and tell me what problem is that. Okay. Shall we move on? Is everyone ready? Okay. Can you see the questions? Is the question clear? Are you able to read it? Is it not clear? 1 second. Now can you see it? Now is the question clear? Okay, go for it and tell me what is the concept of the program. If you want me to move the screen, just tell me, okay? I'll give you time. There is also an example input and output given. Found out what program is that? What program is it? Good. One has said the answer. Any other interpretation? Okay. Others? What about others? Binary to decimal. Okay. Now let me explain. See, they'll be giving some pre-introduction stories. Okay, if you want, you can just go through. Else, you just want to understand what the program is. If you just see the input and output, sample input output, you'll come to know. Okay. So here what is given, the company has transmitted its data to a target server successfully. Some company is there and they have transmitted some data to the server. Now on the new server, the transmitted binary data has to be stored in the user readable format. Okay. As I said, binary format will be only understood by the system and the compiler, CPU. And now we have to convert that to a user readable format. According to us, decimal will be the user readable format. As a developer, you have been assigned the task of converting the received binary data to the user readable decimal data. So the simple one line thing is you have to convert the binary data to the decimal data. Okay. So here they've given, see, write an algorithm to convert the given data to the decimal format. Now we have understood the question. Coming to the input, how an input should be. The input consists of an integer data representing the binary form. Okay. The input should be only in the binary form. How should the output be? Print an integer representing the decimal form. Okay. The input should be in the binary form and the output should be in the decimal form. After that, they have even given an example that the input, see, it is in the binary zeros and ones, and the output, the decimal format for the given binary is 633. Okay. So this is the question. And you can see this has been taken as a picture from a student who was just writing the test. Okay. So it is somewhat not in clarity. So can someone tell me what is the concept behind converting binary to decimal? The logic behind the conversion of binary to decimal. Can someone tell me?
Ma'am, taking the individual
You
binary
need to go
digit
for
and
Google or
multiplying
something. On applying?
it by 2 raised to the power, like equivalent to the binary place,
Okay, good.
and adding all.
Yeah. So the sum. Okay. So how will you convert a binary to the decimal is that you will raise the power. Okay. With the base 2, you'll raise the power from 0 till the size of the entire number. In that sense, first let us take wait. Okay, let me just use this space here. I'm just, for example, taking 100. Okay, I have to split the digits individually. I have to split 1 0 0. Okay, now the total value is, there are 3 digits. Okay, individually there are 3 digits. I should start the numbering from 0. Okay, so 0, 1, 2, always from the right hand side to the left hand side. Okay, 0, 1 and 2. If there are even more numbers, the numbering continues. Okay, now what am I going to do is, I'm going to multiply each and every individual digit to the 2 power. What number is given here? What are the numbering we have used? 2 power 0. Next, 2 power, the numbering used there is 1. Okay, and then 2 power, the numbering used is 2. Okay, always you have to go from your right hand side to the left hand side. 0, 1, 2 I have numbered. Then I'm just going to multiply it with 2 power 0, 2 power 1 and 2 power 2. So now 2 power 2, the answer is 4. Okay, so 4 into 1 is 4. Now 2 power 1 is 2, but I'm multiplying it with 0, so my answer gets 0. Okay, now anything power 0, what is the answer for anything power 0? Anything per 0 is 1. Okay, so here the value is 1. 1 into 0, however, becomes 0. Okay, so I'm just going to sum all these things, add up all these things. 0 plus 0 plus 4, which is 4. So the decimal equivalent for the given binary digit 100 is 4. Okay, this is how you convert a binary to a decimal. You'll take the individual digits and number it from right to left from 0. You'll start it from 0. Then after that, you'll just multiply it with 2 power numbering. 0 into 2 power 2, 0 into 2 power 1 and 1 into 2 power 2. And then the answer, you'll add up everything and the final answer is your decimal format. Is everyone clear with the logic? How will you convert the binary to decimal? Is everyone clear with this? Or you want me to teach once again? Okay, so now we know the logic. Okay, we know the logic. How do we convert that into a program? Let us see. As I said yesterday, we have so many header files. In that header file, I'm just going to use math.h header file. Okay, because I'm going to use a function called POW, which is power of function. So that is predefined only in the math.h header file. So I'm using hash include math.h hash include stdio.h. Okay, now I'm declaring a variable called convert. Convert is a function. Okay, I'm going to declare a function. In previous program, we just saw the function name and below that we have defined the function. But here, I'm just declaring the function. I'm just telling the compiler that there is a function called convert. It will just have the thing. But later on only I have defined it. See, here only I have defined what the function convert should do. So I have just declared here. After that, the main function. I'm using the long variable. Okay, long data type, and the variable name is n. Okay, now I'm going to get the variable and store it in n, and then I'm going to convert it. Whatever the binary value the user is going to give, it is going to be stored in the n. After that, I'm going to convert it and I'm going to print it. Simple. Okay, get the input from the user, use the convert function and print the output. Now we have said the convert function, but what should that convert do? That we have to define. Okay, here we are going to define that. Here dec is a variable and I'm initializing it to 0. Again, I'm taking a variable I and initializing it to 0, and then a reminder variable. Now, what am I going to do is, while n not equal to 0, I have taken 100 in this example, right? 100 is not equal to 0. So we'll just get inside the loop because the condition is true. Now, reminder. Reminder is equal to, here I've taken the example as 100. 100 modulo 10. The modulo operation gives the reminder. We know that the modulo gives a reminder, and that reminder gets stored in the REM. Okay. Now, I want the input for the next loop, right? In this while loop, the input is n is equal to 100. Now I have processed it. I want the next input for the next loop, right? For that, I am taking this step, n divided by 10. Okay, this is a shorthand operator. N is equal to n slash 10 is the actual operator. Now I have got the input for the next loop also. Now decimal format is equal to reminder into power of, because we are going to multiply what? 2 power 0, 2 power 1, 2 power 2. We are going to multiply the 2 power the value. So for that, we are using the power of function. Power of what? 2 power, from 0, 1, 2, it will just move on, right? See, here we have already given I is equal to 0. So for the first time, I will be 0. 2 power 0. Next, while going for the next loop, I gets incremented. Okay. So for the next time, while the next input will be there, it will not be equal to 0. The same functions will be performed. And for the next time, it will be 2 power 1. For the next loop, it will be 2 power 2. Okay. Everything gets added up to the decimal, DEC. Finally, everything gets added up. And I'm just going to return the DEC. And that gets printed here. Okay. Convert n I have given, and I'm just printing it in the same line. So it gets printed. We'll just check for the program. Okay. I'm just giving 100. And the decimal value for that is 100. We have worked out manually. Now, we'll just check for some other thing. This is some binary value. Okay, I just wanted to know the decimal format for this. So it is 89. Okay, is this clear? Just make a note of it. Is there any doubt? Anybody wants me to repeat it again? Take down. After completing, just give me a thumbs up in the comment section. Copied. What about others? Okay. The Python program for binary to decimal conversion. See, the hashtag represents the command line. Just I've used it for your understanding. That will not be counted as a coding line. Okay. So if you want, we can just remove it. Just a command line. Now see, the entire program, which is of nearly more than 10 lines, it is just a 3 lines in Python program. Okay. Just I'm going to get the input and store that in n. Now I'm just going to raise each and every digit of the input base 2 with the power of 0, 1 and 2, whatever it is, and then store it in S, and I'm just going to print that yes. As simple as that. Make a note of this also. If completed, just give me a thumbs up in the comment section. What about others? Okay. Now, let me show you another problem. Okay. Can you see my screen? Okay, I'll give you 5 minutes time. Just go through the program and tell me what program is it. Okay, I'll just zoom in. Read and understand the question and then tell me. Good. It is a Fibonacci series. Others, please don't stop. Read the complete entire question. I'll just go for input and output. See, sample input and output is given here. After seeing the explanation, are you able to find out that it's a Fibonacci series? What about others? I just got answers from only one person. Okay. It is not that if one has said the answer, others shouldn't. So I want everybody to answer. Okay. So now, let me explain. See, again, they've given a short story. An e-commerce website wishes to find the lucky customer who will be eligible for a full value cashback. Okay, they're going to give some cashback. And for this purpose, a number n is fed to the system. Okay, so from this, we come to understand that we are going to get the input as n. It will return another number that is calculated by the algorithm. We are just going to write some algorithm. In algorithm, a sequence is generated in which each number is the sum of two preceding numbers. From this one particular statement itself, we can find out that this is a Fibonacci series because the number, each number generated is the sum of two preceding numbers. Okay. Initially, the sequence will have two ones. Another clue to find out it is a Fibonacci. The system will return the nth number from the generated sequence, which will create the order ID. Okay. So whichever number we are just entering, it will just return the nth element. That will be the order ID. The lucky customer will be the one who has placed that order. So if I'm just asking for the second element, it will be 1 because first two elements are 1 and it will be 1. The order number which has 1 is that lucky customer who's going to get a full value cashback. Now, see, write an algorithm to help the website find the lucky customer. We are going to write some program. How will be the input? The input consists of an integer token representing the number fed to the system. We have to give some number. Print an integer representing the order ID. Okay, as we feed the number to the system, we are going to get an order ID. In which algorithm is this going to work? Is that it is going to work according to the Fibonacci series. Okay, see, for example, they have given 8 as the input, the number which is fed. Okay, so which is the 8th element in the Fibonacci series? It is 21. They have given even the explanation. See, the sequence generated by the system will be 1 1 2 3. This is the Fibonacci series, and the 8th element will be 21. So 21 will be the order ID. The order ID with 21 is that lucky customer. Okay, is the problem clear? To see the problem will be a bigger one. It will be a bit difficult to see, but as you read line by line, you'll come to understand the simplicity of the program. It is just a Fibonacci series with such a long explanation. Okay, is the problem clear for everyone, or someone wants me to explain it again? Feel free to ask me to explain again, or shall we move on to the coding? Okay, what about others? I get only the answers from few students, repeated few students I get answer. What about others? Just entering into the meeting and doing your own work? Okay, we'll go for the coding part. The C program for the Fibonacci series is, as usual, the header files. Now I'm going to define a function called FIB. Okay, this is a function definition. I'm going to give the entire function here. Okay, what is it going to do? See, if n less than or equal to 1, then return n, because 1 is the initial element. Okay, less than that we cannot go anywhere. So if it is equal to 1, just return n, which is 1. Else what should it do is that FIB is
Ma'am, we
the,
can only see the code, like only the picture.
sorry, you want the picture again?
No, ma'am, we can only see the picture. The code is not visible.
1 second. Is the code visible now?
No, ma'am, just the PPT file.
Now can you see the program?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So yeah, as I said, we are going to have a FIB function here. What is that function going to do is that it is going to generate the Fibonacci series. Okay. Now, if it is less than or equal to 1, I have to just return 1. Else, if it is greater than 1, then what should I do is that I just wanted to call the function again. This is called recursive function, reoccurrence of the function. Again and again calling the same function. See, FIB is a function. Within that function, I'm again calling the same function. Okay, so this is known as recurrence or recursive function. Okay, what am I calling again? FIB of n only I've given here. Now I wanted the n minus 1 and n minus 2, the preceding two elements. Okay, n is the third element in that sense. Then n minus 1 will be 2, n minus 2 will be 1. The two preceding elements, I wanted to add the sum of 2 and return it. Now this is the function. Coming to the main function, I'm declaring a variable called n of integer data type. I'm going to get that n value. Okay, which element? 8th element or 9th element, which element should I want? That I'm going to get and store it in n. Then I'm just going to call the function called FIB. Okay, the function FIB is called. So immediately the control jumps over to this part of the program. Okay, after that it will return what is the sum value, and that gets printed. Okay, make a note of it. Okay, others, make it fast. Okay, the same program in the Python code. Okay, similarly, I have defined a function called Fibonacci. Okay, this is the way you declare a function in the Python programming. Def function name, inside the bracket the parameters. Okay, what am I defining inside this function? If n is less than 0, it cannot be in the negative number, right? Fibonacci doesn't accept negative number, so it is an incorrect input. Okay, now elif in that sense, if else is for two conditions. Elif, if there are three conditions, we use elif. Okay, now I'm just taking another condition, n equal to 0, then I should return 0. Okay, see, the second Fibonacci number is 1. For that, what are we going to do? Elif, the third condition. So totally three conditions I'm giving, for the negative, for the 0, for 1. Okay, if it is 1, n is equal to 1, simply I can return 1. Okay, n less than 0, that is negative, n equal to 0, n equal to 1. Three conditions I have given, hence I have used elif. More than two conditions, I have to use elif. Okay, else if the number doesn't fall under these three categories, then it must be a positive number. For that, what should it do? Is that it should just return Fibonacci of n minus 1 plus Fibonacci of n minus 2. As I said in the C programming language, n is what the user given number, but I wanted the sum of previous two numbers. So n minus 1 is the first previous number and n minus 2 is the second previous number. So with this, my entire function is over. Now I wanted to go for the main code, that is called as driver program. Okay, driver program in the sense the main, int main will be using in the C program, right? The main function. Okay, you no need to give, I'm just using the hashtag. See, it is a command line for you to understand, I've given. Okay, now I'm getting the input from the user, as usual, the input statement, and I'm going to print. What am I going to print? The Fibonacci of n, the input got from the user. Fibonacci, I've given the function name, so the control jumps to the Fibonacci function. After that, the entire function gets executed and the final answer gets printed. Make a note of it. Both C and Python of same logic, okay, except the syntax. Try both the programs so that last minute at least one will help you. If completed, just give a thumbs up. Okay, I think it is enough for today. So, you want me to share any other things which I shared in the class today? You want me to share it again? Any code? Or you want me to show that picture again? Or you have taken a screenshot? Okay. Taken screenshot. Okay, good. So is there any doubt regarding today's program? Starting of the session till now, is there any doubt you want me to ask? Okay. So I think every one of you have taken the screenshot and made notes of every program taught in class today. So I want everybody of you to try that. Okay. Try it of your own. And if there is any doubt, just ask me tomorrow. Okay. Can someone tell me how many programs you have seen today? 2 Wipro previous year questions. And other than that, how many programs? Okay, 5 programs. 5 along with the 2 Wipro previous year questions. So totally 7. I want everybody of you to work on those programs. Okay. And every day try taking a mock test. And whatever doubts you have in your mock test, you can ask me in the session. Okay. Okay. So shall we end the session?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am. I'm audible, ma'am.
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It is wonderful session. I really enjoyed the session. Even I have learned a few things from you from today's programming session. And based on my observation in today's, you have also pointed out the interaction from the student. I have noticed Kirtan Prathan, Rakul Gupta, Mukul Gupta, Nikal Limpu, and Nikita Guha. These 5 people have actively participated. They have
Yes, sir, for the
interacted
entire class,
more.
these people have
Yeah.
been active.
Yes, I have noticed, and I am expecting similar kind of active participation from others also, because we have arranged this session for the benefit of you. And I assure you, even in the previous meeting also, I have told you, if you attend all the session, I tell you, you can easily crack the Wipro National Talent 11 Hunt online examination. So my humble request to all the students, please make use of this wonderful opportunity given to you and actively interact before coming to the next session. Have some practice and come with some queries so that all your doubts will be clarified in this technical session. Once again, I convey my gratitude to trainer. Madam has taken the session, entire session, very informative and interactive manner. And my request to all the students, please actively participate and get benefit out of it. Thank you so much. We will meet again tomorrow, same time with same link. Please inform your friends also to join tomorrow's session. Thank you. You can leave the room. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.